Legacy is the most powerful format that is commonly played in Magic the Gathering. The decks are insanely expensive and the games are lightning fast.
And every decision matters.
We had our subscribers at home vote for one deck to represent each year since Legacy's inception, and then had Legacy specialists play in a 7-round tournament.
And now we finally have it. We have a top 8 of what could be the best Legacy decks of all time.
And after 7 videos, we'll be finally able to crown the best Legacy deck ever.
Andrea, I'm so excited.
Jamin, it's a pleasure to finally play against you on this best series of all time.
Yes, and it's Legacy.
All right, best of luck.
And to you. I really like this hand. I'll keep. Storm is one of my favorite archetypes ever. When I do end up playing Legacy, I usually end up playing Storm, and this hand resembles the deck perfect. It has 2 lands, which is usually the exact amount of lands you need, some fast mana and Lotus Petal, a cantrip, discard as interaction, and one of the most broken cards ever, Underworld Breach. This card was so busted in Legacy that, yeah, well, it ended up banned, but today I get to play with it.
Same, we can start. Grixis Delver, I love you. Honestly, some of the best memories in Legacy are tied to this deck. 2018, Deathray Shaman, Gitaxian Probe. I so much look forward to play these cards. And actually, they are my cards. Whenever I come to the Cardmarket studios, I love to bring my own cards, the one that I show also on Mango's workshop where I play. And this starting hand actually has both. We have Gitaxian Probe and we have Deathray Shaman. Jamin's deck is actually very good, so it's gonna be a tough fight, but let's keep the 7 and let's go.
I will play an Underground Sea.
And?
A Ponder.
All right, always love to see a Ponder. And that means I'm not dead.
Ponder lets me look at the top 3 cards of my deck before making a decision to either shuffle or not, and then draw a card. These 3 cards are fine, but I really need a Lion's Eye Diamond to combo with my Underworld Breach, so I'll shuffle them away for now. These aren't too hot.
Okay.
Let's try again.
They're warm.
Go ahead.
I go. Untap and draw. All right, before starting my game, I want to gain some free information. And when I say free, I truly mean free.
Well, 2 life, you know that's very relevant against Storm.
Against a Storm deck that mills, yes. I will just draw a card. Unfortunately, Gitaxian Probe doesn't discard anything.
What a card! Come on, it could at least discard another card.
All right, I drew what I wanted to draw. I knew what I needed to know. Man, if you draw Lion's Eye Diamond. All right, whatever. Let's hope you don't draw it. Scalding Tarn into Deathray Shaman. So I played back-to-back banned cards over here with my beautiful Underground Sea.
I'll draw. I guess if Andrea Mengucci has taught me one thing,
what is it?
It's to main phase Brainstorm.
That's true, that's true. There's a clip I made on YouTube about when to play Brainstorm.
I'll draw 3 cards.
Yes.
I found a second Underworld Breach, which might be nice if I, get the first one countered, but I'll put it on top because I do have discard spells, so I'll just make sure the coast is clear before deploying my 1 Underworld Breach and make sure that it actually wins the game. And I will put back this and this. So this goes into the graveyard, and I'll put another card there by fetching. I'll get another Underground Sea and cast a Thoughtseize, because I really want to know what's in your hand too.
All right, well this time you pay mana, but you discard a card.
I don't like that Spell Pierce.
Yes.
It looks annoying.
Untap and draw. Let's see if I find some Force of Will. But first, I wanna look at your hand post Brainstorm and go to 15.
It's an LED, a Duress, an Underworld Breach, an Infernal Tutor, and a Polluted Delta.
It got better.
It did.
Draw. 3 mana thanks to Deathray Shaman. I want to play Ponder first to find a second Force of Will because I know I saw Jamin's hand, he has a Thoughtseize. If I don't find a Force of Will, I just have to pass the turn with Deathray Shaman up. I can play a Tropical Island and I think I have to go for a Ponder. Looking at the top 3 again.
Yep.
A lot of a lot of burn, but
that's a lot of direct damage.
So I'll give it a shuffle and let's see what I draw. Oh, I think I passed the turn and keep up Deathray Shaman.
Graveyard interruption is quite annoying.
Yes.
I'll untap and I will draw.
When that deck was super popular and winning it all, Deathray Shaman was already banned.
You know about this one?
Yes.
So let's Try the duress. Show me what you got.
Have a Force of Will and a bunch of non-relevant cards.
Yes, I do need to get rid of that force. And I'll go fetch. I'll get myself the Badlands. And with this Badlands, I'll cast the banned card of the deck. The card that makes the whole thing run. Underworld Breach.
It's
Let me
very
give
powerful.
it a read. 2 mana, an enchantment, each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. So I can recast any of the spells in my graveyard. I just have to exile 3 other cards from my graveyard in addition to it, which is ridiculous. At the beginning of the end step, you have to sacrifice Underworld Breach. I'll follow it up with 2 very well synergizing cards.
you drew another
2
one.
Lion's Eye Diamonds. Now, this one is basically Black Lotus. They thought at the time they fixed Black Lotus because you have to discard your hand in addition to sacrificing it to make 3 mana, but I don't care about my hand. I can recast it from the graveyard. So I'll go ahead and sacrifice both of them.
Yes, so you...
Generate 3 black and 3 blue mana.
Yes.
I'll have to discard my hand though.
And unfortunately, I don't have priority to exile that tutor.
You don't, because this is a mana ability.
Yes.
With this 6 mana, I'll take my priority and recast Infernal Tutor, which is a 2 mana sorcery that says reveal a card from your hand, search your library for a card with the same name as that card. Oh no, I don't have any cards in my hand. But if I'm hellbent, which means I don't have cards in hand, I can instead search my library for any card, put it into my hand, and then shuffle my library. I'll grab myself a Brain Freeze. I don't even need to show you, but I will.
Yeah, you have to cast it. Played how many spells here? 5.
This is the 6th one.
Yes.
And Brain Freeze has Storm, so it gets copied for each spell cast so far. So in total, I have 6 copies of this spell, which says target player mills 3 cards.
Who do you target, me or you?
Myself.
Okay.
We could also split it half.
No.
I mill 18.
Milling yourself, what a world. And I had Force and Spell Pierce and died on turn 3. Alright, you have a Grape Shot.
I do have a
Maybe I
Grape
can
Shot
exile
in
that.
there. So this lets me cast any spell from the graveyard. So I'll choose this artifact spell called Lion's Eye Diamond by exiling 3 other cards.
Yeah, and let me look at your graveyard, because now I do have priority. The problem of exiling Grape Shot is that you just mill me with Brain Freeze. I mean, I can exile Brain Freeze, but then you just get another copy of it with Infernal Tutor. So I'm just locked out. I'm not gonna use the Death Ray Shaman and let you kill me. So go ahead,
Alright.
enjoy.
So how many cards do you have left?
Oh, that's a question you never want to hear. Well, 8, 12, 13.
47?
47, that's too many. There's no way you can milk 47 cards
Impossible.
in a turn.
So with 47 cards, I'll sack this Lion's Eye Diamond going up to 5 mana again.
Yes,
And then I will recast this Brain Freeze,
yes.
exiling 3 more cards. This time, I'll target you, Andrea.
Alright.
This is the 8th spell. Oh, so many good cards.
So many beautiful cards, yes.
I'll cast it again, mill you for the rest, and
Untap.
I'll pass the turn.
And die. Sideboarding in this matchup is easy. I'm bringing in the Cabal Therapies. I didn't get the chance to show you the Young Pyro plus Cabal Therapy in game 1. I died much earlier than that.
Well, this game was smooth sailing. I don't want to underestimate the Delver deck, and I'll bring in that Empty the Warrens from my sideboard just because it does generate a ton of creatures early if I need to.
Game 2, it's time for a revenge for the Grixis Delver.
No, it's time for 2-0.
Let's go, let's see what I got. That's a keep. My hand's solid. I have a turn 1 Death Ray Shaman once again. Keep for me.
Yes, same.
Underground Sea, Death Ray Shaman again.
It's a good card. I will draw, and I'll fetch. I'll grab an Underground Sea, and I'll use it to ponder.
Okay.
And there's the LED. I just can't draw it right now because otherwise it would be weak to hand disruption from Andrea's side, so I'll leave it on top and draw a different card instead. These look good to me. I'll put them back and draw 1.
On top and draw. Young Pyromancer, what a draw it was. So I can actually go turn 2 Young Pyro Cabal Therapy and most likely name Underworld Breach, but I feel like whenever you have a Wasteland against a combo deck, and if you also have other things to do, like for example, have a Delver Secrets and a Spell Pierce to do, then I should do that. So let's just Wasteland, play Delver, pass, and just Spell Pierce whatever Jamin plays. If it's a Discard spell or a cantrip, we got to just throw the Spell Pierce out of the window. Next turn, Pyro Cabal Therapy, win the game. It's a really nice Underground Sea you got there. It would be a shame if it would go to the graveyard.
Okay.
I then want to exile a land of yours and play a Delver of Secrets. You can go.
I will untap my non-existing land and draw. I will fetch once again.
18.
Let's try basic island this time because I'm a bit worried about my mana base. And using that island, I'll cast a Ponder.
Not so quick. I'm gonna spell pierce it.
I forgot about the Delver gameplay experience.
Yeah, no lands, no spells.
Since I played around discard last turn, I want to play around discard this turn again, so I'll play out my LED because I think Andrea's deck has way fewer ways of interacting with an artifact on the board than it has with interacting with a card in my hand. Run out a Lion's Eye Diamond.
Okay, yeah, resolve.
Any responses?
No days.
Are you sure?
No days for me.
Go ahead.
Let's see if Delver flips. It does not. I'll play a land for turn. I'll crack it. And I'll play my Young Pyromancer.
That's a very powerful card.
It used to be. I'll exile your land with Deathray Shaman.
Yep.
And I'll play a very sweet card here, Cabal Therapy. I make a token. Well, I'm gonna name the card that combos you with your deck, so Underworld Breach.
No.
You have it? Nice. Wow, that was a nice hand. You would have gone off.
I mean,
You would have gone off protected next turn.
Yeah.
Jeez. And I'm gonna sacrifice an elemental to flash back the Cabal Therapy, but guess what? The elemental comes back. So for free, I discard 2 cards. That's a very powerful combo. Yeah, I'm taking your Infernal Tutor out.
Cabal Therapy is brutal. Like, it's not even the fact that it rips specific cards out of my hand, which is pretty strong still, but just being down 2 cards is really brutal. Like, that's rough.
And I'll attack you for 1.
I will untap. Luckily, my Lion's Eye Diamond is
Yeah.
safely in play.
Yes, true.
And I will draw. You've got a single card in hand?
A single card in end.
All right, so hear me out. I think with the luckiest Brainstorm, I can just
you
go
do
off right now.
Nice.
Like, just, I don't know, Breach, land should do it. Can't be that hard.
Can't see
Okay, we've got 1. I will put back these 2. Once again, they won't remain on top of my library for very long because I will fetch. I'll get myself a Badlands and use it to check out your final card in hand.
No, you wanna unveil my secret?
I hopefully will even put it into the graveyard.
It's a wasteland.
No!
Not only you don't discard it, but you lose your land next turn.
You go.
All right, Delver. Flips. Of course it does. Flips with a Ponder. Draw for turn.
It flips with like the perfect card.
Play Ponder. Make a token. Look at the top 3. They're actually quite bad. I'll shuffle and draw. I'll wasteland you.
Yes.
And attack for 3 and 2/5 and 1/6. And it's your turn.
I will need a really good cantrip here to keep me going. It's an Underground Sea. I'll play an Underground Sea, I'll run out my Lotus Petal, and I'll pass the turn.
All right, end of turn, I'll deal you 2 damage. You must have a spell over there.
I do.
Draw and attack with all.
That's game.
That's game. Let's go to the third one.
That was a rough game too because it wasn't a bad draw on my side, but it was very much carried by the fact that Andrea was on the play. So I'll just put myself on the play for game 3. Ready for game 3?
You have to defend the Underworld Breach, Ben.
Should be a bit easier on the play.
Yes, game 1 was very easy.
Okay, well, it won't be very easy with this hand, so I'll mulligan.
Okay, I'll keep in mind. Mine is... Unfortunately, it doesn't have Deathray Shaman. I'm kind of used to it. It still has a couple of Delvers, a Daze as an interaction. We have a Wasteland. I think it's a keep. It's not the best hand. And of course, it has a Brainstorm. Every hand with Island Brainstorm gets a thumb up from me.
All right, let's try 6 instead. This hand has a single game plan, and I don't want to go down to 5 cards against a deck that's so good at trading 1-for-1 in cards, like Andrea's deck is. So I'll keep it, and I'll have to rely on the fact that Delver is usually quite bad at dealing with a bunch of small creatures. I'll keep this, and I'll bottom this card.
Okay.
Let's start things off with checking out your hand, Andrea. I really like seeing your hand.
Good old Duress.
Duress you.
All right. You have the decision between Brainstorm and a Daze.
Andrea's hand is scary, but not for the usual reasons, because usually it's the counter magic and the interaction that's scary, but in this case, Young Pyromancer, once it gets going, can be really good against Empty the Warrens. And secondly, there's a Wasteland, so if Andrea gets the idea of just turn 1 playing Wasteland and wasting me, I'm kind of at the grace of my deck to provide me with more lands. I'll take the Brainstorm here because that's the card that gets him potentially useful cards into his hand, right? Like Cabal Therapy or more counter magic. And just hope that Andrea goes for the turn 1 Delver and lets me have my Empty the Warrens on turn 2. That Brainstorm is too good.
It's the best. Okay, I go?
Yes, you do.
So I have to decide whether to play a Delver or to Wasteland. But Jamin mulligan to 6, and I have just draw a second Wasteland. So the Wasteland plan has to go with just starting, killing those lands, even though I can't advance. Again, usually Wasteland is great when you are ahead. Let's say you're in the play, you go land Delver, and they play something, you just Wasteland and play another thing with your mana, and you didn't damage. So that's the so-called time walk. Here, it's not amazing on the draw, but I think it's still good enough. Well, they said that in Legacy, if you have a Wasteland and your opponent has a dual land, this is the right play.
All right, it works out.
We can go.
I'll draw. And I will play this and pass the turn.
Okay, on top and draw. Yeah, I think I have to go for the Delver of Secrets here. I get a Volcanic Island and I pass to you.
At end of turn, I'll also go down to 19. And then I won't do anything at end of turn.
Okay.
But I will.
Deck thinning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to draw more lands. I think the time has come.
For what?
For a Polluted Delta.
Am I dead?
I'll cast a Lotus Petal.
Resolves.
And another one.
Resolves.
And a Lion's Eye Diamond.
Okay, what's your last card? Am I dead to Infernal Tutor? Is that what you have?
I'll fetch. And I still don't like your Wastelands. What? But I feel like it's gonna be decided either way very soon. I'll crack both of my Lotus Petals.
Oh wow, is it?
Cast Empty the Warren. This was spells 1, 2,
Oh my,
3,
Empty the Warrens.
4. Empty the Warrens reads, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, but it has Storm. So once again, for each spell so far, which is there, and itself, I would get 2 tokens. So there are 4 copies of the spell on the stack.
And I do have the days,
You
but
do
you can
have the
just
days.
pay with Lion's Eye Diamond, so I can't even counter 1 copy. Am I 19? What do you give me, Delver? Do you give me any joys? Oh, wow. Gitaxian Probe.
Have fun looking at my hand.
But actually, Gitaxian Probe is quite good here, because I'm able to deploy the Young Pyromancer and pay 2 life to draw a card and make a token.
Okay.
And yeah, I certainly can't attack, so you can go.
I will draw. I came here to do one thing. Let's get in there.
I'll block 2.
Yep, those 2 go away, and then I'll Thoughtseize you.
You Thoughtseize me?
I do.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna daze it just to make a token with Pyromancer. Yeah, you look at my hand afterwards.
I'll pay 1 more for the days.
Okay,
And without that Ponder, your hand is looking worse.
yes, on top and draw. I'll play a land and I'll deploy that Delver. This Young Pyromancer is not blocking, so I will attack with it.
I'll draw. No, I won't do that now. I don't want to give you any more goblins. I will attack.
Okay, I block 2.
Yep.
This dies, I take 4.
And then I will Thought Scour myself.
Sure.
Mill 1, mill 2, and draw. I will pass the turn.
Untap, look for Delver, doesn't flip, play a new Delver.
Okay.
And well, I'm even attacking with this Delver.
Okay.
3 damage, and well, I'll play this land and pass to you.
I will draw. Do I need to stay back? It's rough, but I need to keep attacking for now at least, because Grape Shot might still become lethal if I just push through enough damage early. No, I'm not. No. I'll attack.
Alright, I'll block just 1.
Yep.
I'll go to 4.
I will play yet another basic land.
okay,
That Wasteland doesn't do anything. Go ahead.
Untap, do the Delver flips. They don't. I will attack just for 3 again. Nah, I'll attack for 4.
Okay.
And then I'll play the Young Pyromancer that I just drew and pass to you.
I will draw. I will cast a Preordain. Resolves?
Yep.
I'll scry 2. I found the Grape Shot with the Preordain, but I don't have red mana. But if I cast Brain Freeze before casting Preordain, and then cracked the Lion's Eye Diamond in response to the Preordain for red, that would have been Storm Count 2, meaning 3 damage with the Grape Shot, and then another damage off the Goblin token, which would have been lethal. But it's a bit of a far stretch to proactively cast my Brain Freeze. This way, I'll leave the Grape Shot on top and keep my Polluted Delta in hand to maybe force through some damage next turn if the Delvers don't flip. Can I still crack this?
You have Black Lotus?
I'll leave both on top and draw. I will just pass the turn.
Okay. Alright, Delver, it's time. You have failed me for many turns.
One time.
Let's see.
One more time. No!
That's a Gitaxian Probe for the win. I flip all my Delver, take a draw, and then just attack with my Flyers for 9.
Can my Goblins fly?
They stay down and the insects go over you.
That's lethal.
And Delver advances to the semifinals. Good game, good game, Jamin. It was, 8 Goblins on turn 2. That was impressive, but...
The Young Pyromancer did the actual work.
That's true. That's true.
That card's so good against the Goblins.